The Royals have to take a look at their roster and go, how do we replace Nori Aoki if you don't want to bring him back to play right field? What about Billy Butler at DH? Or James Shields as the ace of our rotation? For more on the Royals, let's bring in Jeff Montgomery. He pitched 12 of his 13 seasons as closer of the Royals, now a broadcaster for the club. Jeff, welcome to MLB Now. I want to begin with James Shields. The likelihood, the sense that you're getting that James Shields could wear a Royals uniform again.
Well, I get a feeling that the Royals will do everything possible within their means to bring James Shields back, but unfortunately, I think they have almost anticipated that likely won't be enough because one of the teams with a larger revenue base is very likely going to make him a deal that, frankly, the Royals can't compete with.
Hey, Jeff, it's Dan Plesac. Another guy I'd like to ask you about, Dan Duffy. I thought he has as good a stuff as anybody on that team. Do you see Dan Duffy as one of the 5 starters in 2015?
I would think he does, Dan. I think his stuff is probably a lot like yours, to be honest. Power stuff from a left-handed side, and he was as good about any left-handed pitcher when he was healthy during the course of the season, and unfortunately didn't end so well from him based on, I think it was the early September start. He had to come out after only one pitch, and he really never got right, and he was limited to his pitch count and his action in the postseason, so very disappointing for him, but I would say he will be one of those top 3 or 4 guys in the rotation.
Jeff, you got to watch Lorenzo Cain play the last couple of seasons, but it really was kind of a coming-out party for him in the playoffs. Do you think he's going to take the ball and run with it, even though he's come to the game kind of late at 28 years old?
Well, the beauty of Lorenzo Cain is he's fairly young as far as baseball is concerned. He didn't start playing till later on in his life, but fortunately he was recognized with the American League Championship MVP, so people know who he is now. The key for him is staying healthy. He was able to stay healthy during the majority of last season, and we had a chance to see him. And really around early September, his attitude changed. He said, guys, we got to find a way to be more aggressive. We have to take charge of this thing, and we can't really kind of fall into the same trap that a lot of the Royals teams have fallen into over the last several years. We got to take charge of this thing. And I saw Lorenzo Cain really play with an attitude during the last month and a half or 2 months of the season.
Hey, Jeff, this is Nelson Figueroa.
Hey, now,
my question for you is about the big back end of your bullpen. What do you think is going to take to keep those 3 guys together?
Well, fortunately, they're all in a situation where they're under club control. Now,
Correct.
They're obviously very, very successful, and these guys make everyone else on the team better. They really do. They make the starting rotation better because they understand that, hey, we only have to get into the 6th inning, and we got a great chance to win a ball game. And I think it also makes the rest of the team better, especially the way the offense looks at things, because if they can get into the situation where they get into this bullpen, they kind of understand. And you look at Wade Davis, I believe he had a 9-2 record with a 1 ERA. Here's a guy that almost created that confidence for the offense because they know once they got Wade Davis into a game, they got 2 or 3 chances to win a ball game as to versus the other team. And I think it just raised everyone's level of expectation and the elevation for what they felt like they could do. So the confidence was there. And in keeping these guys together, you don't have to have all 3 of them. And frankly, all 3 of them probably could close for some teams. But it's certainly a luxury. And I think Dayton Moore, the general manager of the Royals, understands how important that back end of the bullpen is. And we saw it all during the postseason, how vitally important those guys all were to the Royals' success.
Hey, Jeff, it's Dan again. One other guy I'd like to ask you about, Brandon Finnegan, burst on the scene, first-round draft pick from TCU, made a name for himself in the postseason out of the bullpen. Where do you see Finnegan fitting into the plans for the Royals in 2015?
Well, he was certainly a pleasant surprise with regards to the impact that he had and success he had pitching out of the bullpen for the Royals in that magical run. Now, I think they really want him, and they need him to be one of those guys that will be a starting pitcher long-term. So I would say that there's a good chance they're probably going to send him to the minor leagues and let him kind of have that finishing off process where he becomes a more complete pitcher, because as all you guys know, it's easy to do things, especially out of the bullpen, when things are going your way. It's one of the easier things to do, but when you get knocked off that horse, how do you respond to that challenge? And I think for a pitcher to have the best chance to respond and recover when he does get knocked off that horse, he has to have some time in the minor leagues to finish off all those little detail things like holding runners on base and the slide step and just a lot of the things that you probably don't quite have major league ready when you come out of college.
And Jeff, quickly, do you think Billy Butler played his last game in a Royal uniform?
I think they're going to do everything they can to bring him back. Obviously, the $12.5 million price tag was too steep for what he produced, and I do think that challenge for Billy probably wore on him statistically this year as far as knowing that there was an option out there. So I think there's a good chance that they're going to bring him back. If not, I think you'll see a lot of guys kind of fit into that role. I don't think they'll go out and spend big dollars on one person to fill that role.
I think you addressed every major topic pertaining to the Kansas City Royals. Jeff Montgomery, that was terrific. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, have a great one.